So once you open this SQL Server Data Tools now, so we have to click on this new project. Okay.
Okay.
So it will be inbuilt with the Visual Studio, okay, Microsoft Visual Studio, which provides the framework for create your SSIS or SSRS and SSAS uh, packages or reports or cubes. Okay. This Visual Studio will provide the framework to work on these MSPA tools. Okay. Once you connect to the SQL Server data tools, so if you want to create a new project, we have to click on this option, create new project. Now let us see that. So we can see here. So we have the MSBA, that is Microsoft Business Intelligence, and then we have the three options here. Reporting services. Okay, if you want to create SSRS reports, okay, we have to connect to this report. We have to select these reporting services. If you want to create our SSIS packages, then we have to select the integration services. If you want to create cube databases, okay, then we have to select this analysis services option. Right now, let me start with SSIS. So integration services. And if you want to create SSIS solution and packages, let us select this integration services project. And we can give some name. Hello.
Sir, what is this integration services import project wizard?
So
What will be used for that?
yeah. So that is for it will provide some wizard to create the packages. Okay. So this will by taking the help of the wizard means some uh, pop-up window will be there, okay, and by using this wizard we can still create the SSIS packages. But let us start with integration services, that is how the developers will create their own packages, okay, without taking the
Okay.
help of wizard. Okay, so I will show you
Okay.
both of us. I'll show you both of you.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me start with integration services project. Okay. So using this, it is very easy, okay, to create a package. So this will be helpful for the customers who doesn't know the how to create packages. If you don't know how to create packages, then you can take the help of this. But this is normally for SSIS developers. This is for, let us say, this is for clients and this is for developers. Like that. So I will show one example by using how we can do by creating this also. But let me try with this integration services project. Okay.
Yes, sure,
So
sir.
let us give some name. So let us say SSIS. Okay. Sai 70. Okay. Like this. Now, whatever the solution name we are given, so for our project, we have given some name, and this solution file or project is going to create under this default location, that is C users Krishna documents like this. Okay, and if you want to create a separate folder for your solution, we can check this option. Okay,
Okay.
so under this folder, the solution file will is going to create. Let us click on OK. Now you can see that now let us go and see, it is still creating. Let it create. Now you can see. So you can see here it is creating that with the same name, whatever the name you have given, no? With the same name it has created some solution file. Under that we have one folder called SSIS packages, and a default package is created like this, package.dtsx. Okay, so this is the startup package. Okay, so package.dtsx. DTSX means data transformation services executable file. Okay, the extension DTSX means data transformation solution executable file. Okay, so which have this control flow option, data flow section, parameter section, event handler section, and package explain, all those things. Okay, and we have separate SSIS toolbox also right. Okay, let me close this toolbox. Okay, now you can see here this is the default package. Okay, default package file here. Okay, now which will have these multiple sections. Now let us go and see what is the importance of this control flow tab, data flow tab, parameter tab, like this. Okay, so let me take this. So here control flow means it is nothing but which will control the flow of execution. Okay, in the control flow section we will, this control flow section will control the flow of the packages or task. Okay, so let us say your manager has given three tasks to you. So let us say your manager has given three tasks for you. So in the first task, so we have an option. So he has asked you to create a table. Okay, to create it. And in the second task, so we have to insert the data into the table. So we have to insert the data into the table. Okay. And in the third task, we have to update the table data. We have to update the table data. So we have three different tasks. So you will start with which task first? Whether you will start with create table task first, or we will start with insert data or update data. Which task you will start first? So this
Create table.
create table. So after creating the table, okay, which one will continue
Then
with?
I will
Yes, we have to
then I
continue.
will insert
Insert the data. Okay. After inserting the data, we will go and continue with the updating the table data. No? So this
okay.
flow of execution. Okay.
So
So this control flow means which task I have to execute first, and after that which task I have to continue. Okay. So this is called controlling the flow of execution. Okay. So this controlling we will do in the control flow tab. Okay. So this control flow tab will control the flow of execution of the package. Okay, like that.
so
Hello?
can you please once
Hello? Are you able to
Hello?
hear?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I have to reconnect it.
Yeah, Tarala,
I
are you
can.
able to hear?
I can able to hear you, sir.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I can able to hear you.
Okay. So, are you asking any doubt?
Can you please explain once again? I mean, the flow of
Yes.
I didn't hear.
So, in the control flow section, no? So for every package, okay, for every package, no? So this is I'm in the first package. Now for every package, it will contain these five tabs. Okay, and the first tab usage of this first tab is, as the name suggests, it will control the flow of execution of your package. Okay, of
Okay.
your package task. Now let us see how it will do. So in the control flow section, if I go to this, and here we have one toolbox, SSIS toolbox. Let us click on it. Okay. So this is the list of tools available in the control flow section. Okay, so let
Oh,
me take one of the option, that is execute SQL task. Now here you can see. So don't worry about execute SQL task, what it will do. We will have separate session for each and every task. But let us concentrate on what is this control flow, what it will do. Okay. So
okay.
here using this task, I'm creating some table. So let me use this task to create something. Okay. And so in which database you want to create. Okay. So I want to create in the SQL Server database. Okay. So let me connect my one of the SQL database. Okay, let me connect back again. So under this SQL Server, so I have the list of databases. I have the list of databases. Now let us say I want to create a table in the DB Sai3. Okay. Let us take I want to create a table in the database DB Sai3. Okay. Like this. Now from SSIS I want to create a table. Now let us see. Let me create a connection to the DB Sai3 database. Okay. So first of all, we have to specify in which database we have to create. Let me create a connection to that particular SQL server or DB-Sai3 database. Now let me click on new. So here let me select the server name. So I have installed my computer in my I have installed the software in my own computer now. So my computer name is the server name, and in that server, we have the database called dbsci3. Let me take this. Okay, okay. So under this database, what I want to do is I want to create a table. So let me write create table command. So create table, table name, let us say table underscore some emp, okay, information, okay, info. And let me take info one. I know that whether this table is existed or not. Let me take info one. Okay, and I want to store some columns like employee integer and his name varchar 20, okay, comma some age information as it. So I have written some create table query. Okay, create table, table name, table underscore emp underscore info one. Okay, okay, info one, and with this column names, three column names. Okay, that's it. Now I have the create table. Now after this, what I want to do, I want to insert the data now. Let me take one more execute SQL. So here let me write insert. So insert data into the table. Okay. Now in which whether the table is present in which table you want to insert the data, the table is present in which database. I have selected the connection, and after that let me write the insert command. Insert into table. Okay, or you can select this icon and you can write it freely here, emp underscore one. So values, let us say employee one comma some name, so some age, like this. And now let me insert two or three records. Okay, so let me have employee 2 and employee 3 and something like from, okay, and something like, let me write one more. So let us say some subject. Okay, let me write some age. Okay, so I am inserting three records. Okay, now click on. Okay, and after inserting the data, I want to update the table data. That is modify the table data. Now let me write one more. Okay, modify table data. So that my table is present in the DB side. Let me select the connection and let me write some update query. Update table. Okay, what is your table name? Table underscore emp underscore info one. This is my table name. Set age equal to 0, where emp id equal to 3. So some modification I am doing. Okay, like this. So I have written three queries. In the first task, I am doing the create table, table name. And after that, I'm inserting the data into the table, and after that I'm modifying the table. So we have multiple tasks. Now in the control flow section, what we will do is we will control the flow of execution of the package. Means I want to start with create table, and once it is success, I need to continue with the next task, that is my insert data task. Okay. Once the insert data task is succeeded, I need to continue with the modify table task. Okay.
Okay.
So this linkage we will do in the control flow section.
Okay.
Okay. Now once you finish this linking, then you can go on. If you want to execute your package, either you can click on this play button. Okay. Or here also, if you go and right click on the package, so here also we have an option to execute. You can see we have an option to execute the package. Okay. Now let me click on this. So first of all, it will go and create a table, and after that, it will insert the data and modify the data. So let us see that. I think with the same name already one table might be there. So if you want to see this error information, you can see there is already object name table emp info is there. I think with the same name already some table is there. Let me go and create, give some new name. Let us give 1 2. And here also let us take, let me give some new table name. Okay. Now let me execute the package. Now you can see. So once the create table is success, it has gone to this execution next one and continued with the third. Now let us go and see in the DB-3 database. So whether any table is created with the name table underscore. Now you can see 3 records are inserted and the last record got updated with 0. Okay. So this is what we will do in the control flow section. Now if I execute it one more time, what will happen now?
It already created one, so the table will not create once again.
So this task will get failed. Okay. So if I execute it one more time, the first task will fail, saying that hey, there is already an object with name 1 2. Now
Yeah.
if the table is already present, what I want to do is I want to drop the table and reinsert.
Yeah.
Okay. So to drop the table, so one option is I can go to the database and write drop table command. Okay. So I can write drop table command. But I don't want to drop it from the database. I want to drop it from the SSIS itself. Okay. Then how to do that is, so instead of dropping in the database, I don't want to touch the database at all. Everything I need to handle in the SSIS package itself. Okay. So in order to drop the table, let me take one more execute SQL task and let us write a command type drop table. And here the table is present in which database? DB-3. And let us connect to that and write the command drop table, table name, emp info 1. Okay. Now, when this task should execute, when this drop table command should execute, once the first task got failed, means if it
Yeah.
gets any error, then only I have to go and execute this. Then how to set that is, so let me take this command and point it to here. Green arrow means success. Okay, but I don't want to execute when it's success. When it fails, then only I want to execute. Then what you can do is, you can go to this connector and double click on it, and you can see we have the value called success. So you can change it to failure. Okay, now click on it. Now you can see when this task got fails, it will take this path and it will execute this command. Now let us
Okay.
execute it one more time. Now you can see if the first task is failed, then it has gone to this case and it has dropped the table. Now if I execute it one more time, so now you can see if it is success, it has taken this path. Okay. If
Okay.
it is failure, it will take this failure path. Okay. Now after dropping the table, what I want to do is I want to recreate the table and continue with the insert command execution, insert task execution. So I don't want to stop the execution once it is drops. Okay, what I want to do is I want to recreate the table, and after recreating, I want to insert the data again. Okay, so let me copy this and let me paste it again. So once the table is dropped, what I want to do is I want to recreate the table. So just for example purpose, I'm telling. So I want to recreate the table. I want to recreate the table. After recreate the table, I want to connect to the insert command again and update table command. Okay. So this is the way I want to follow. If the table is not there, it will go and take this path. It will create the table and insert the data and modify the table. If the table is already there, I want to drop the table and recreate the table and again re-execute this, re-follow this insert command and modify table. Now let us see. Now here you can see that if the table is already there, okay, it has dropped the table and it has recreated the table, and is it taking this path now? Is it executing the insert command task now? No, it is not executing. It is just stopped here. And let us see. So let me drop the table again. Let me execute only this task separately. So I have dropped the table. Now let me execute the entire package. Now here you can see create table is success, but it is executing the next one. No, it is not executing the insert data task. Okay, so if the table is already present, then now also, so it has dropped the table, it has dropped the table and recreated, but it is not executing this insert command. Why? Because this task has how many inputs? It is not having a single input. No, it is having two inputs now. Okay, it is waiting for both of them to get success. So it is waiting for this task will execute. Okay, if both of them is got success, this also should get success and this also should get success. But both of them cannot get success in the same time. Okay,
Okay.
so that's why this one is not executing. So now in this case, what you can do is if you have multiple inputs, okay, if you have multiple inputs like this, what you can do is you can go to this connector and you can see here if you have multiple inputs, that is if you have multiple constraints, then logical and right now it is unoperated means all constraints must evaluate to true. So that's why it is not executing. But you can change it to OR operator. OR operator means one constraint must evaluate to true. Either one, if it is true, then I can go and execute this. Now you can see we have the dotted line. Okay. Now it is not a AND operator, it is a OR operator. So in these two, either one is true, then it will start executing. Now you can see. So I tried to create, so it is failed, it has dropped the table and it has recreated the table and it is re-inserting the data and modifying the table data. Okay, like this. Now let me drop and re-execute it, re-execute the entire package. Now you can see if the create table is success, then also it is taking this path. Okay, like this.
So now if we execute again, then it will fail, and then it will recreate table.
Yes. Okay. So this is just an example I'm telling. Okay, to explain all the constraints present in the control flow section.
Okay.
Okay, like this. So we have one more option like in this, we have one more option like, so we have success, failure and completion also is there. So we have seen what is success, what is failure. So let us see what is completion. Completion is nothing. Completion is nothing but, so let me create one more package. So if you want to create one more package, now go to this SSIS packages folder, click on new SSIS package. Now let us create one execute SQL task. So now you can see I have two packages. So this is my first one and this is my second one. And every package will have these sections. Okay. Now let me just create some table and I want to create some table. Okay, now let me go for, so we have to specify in which database. So if the database connection is already created, it will show here. Let me select the TB-SCID connection. Okay, let me create one more table. So I'm creating some table here. Okay, so create table, table enp info 30. So employee name and some salary. Okay, so after that, let me do that. Let me write one more task. That's right. I'm inserting the data. Let us write one comma, something like Ramesh. Okay, some salary. Okay, I'm inserting some data here. Now let me click. Now instead of success, let me convert this success operator or connector into completion. Okay. Now what this completion will do is, now you can see the color of the arrow mark is changed to black color. Okay, what this completion will do is, so it won't bother about the result of first task. Okay, it will just check whether that is completed or not. It won't bother about the result. Okay, now let us see. So if I execute this, so now you can see it is success, then the second one also is getting executed. Okay, now If I execute it one more time, so if I execute the second package one more time, so even the first task got failed also, the second one is executing. Why? Because it is completion, means it will just see whether this is completed or not. It won't bother about the result, whether it is failed or success. It will just check for whether that is completed or not, and it will go ahead with the next task execution. That is the meaning of completion. Okay,
So it
understood.
will not insert any data.
It will
It
insert.
will not insert any data.
It is executing successfully. Next one, green mark means success.
Yeah, first time it will be inserted. Then
Yeah.
after doing completion, again you executed it. So then again it will insert the data
Yes.
again
Yes.
after completion.
Yes.
So now there should be two rows in that table.
Yes. Yes. Now you can go and see if I go for 1, 3. Oh, sorry. I dropped the table. Let me
And
see.
dropped it.
So let me recreate it one more.
Fine.
No problem. I will create it one more time. So let me execute this. So you can see it is success. Then also it is inserting the data. Now let me remove this. Okay. And execute here. Now you can see one Ramesh is there. Now let me execute it one more time. Now if I execute it one more time also. So even though the first one got failed, the second one is still executing. And you can go and see. You have one more record. Okay, in
Okay.
some situations demands this option. Okay.
Okay.
So in some of the situations we can take this option, but that is the meaning of completion. Whether first one is success or failure, it won't bother. It will just to see whether that is successfully executed or it is executed or not. That's it. Okay, so these are all the different options available in the control flow tab. Okay, which will control the flow of execution of your package.
Okay.
Okay, understood?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we have a
Hello,
hello,
tell me.
sir, you created only one insert table in that, right?
Yes, yes.
So if we have so many of them like this modifying table, if we complete this, if we give another completion to this modified table, then it
Yes.
gonna execute only the modified data table. The top two of the tables will be not executed.
So if you want to execute this one, so if you have one more task, one more completion after this, you are telling like this.
Yeah, so the top three will be uh, not executed, and this last table will be
It is
executed,
related
or
only this one. It is related to only this task now. So all these are success only. So it will work according to your setting. So if you have the green arrow
so
means
the
this should success. But here only this completion is related to the only for this task only, not for everything.
suppose if so okay, so if we have on the top of that from insert to modify table, is there I mean if it is there the completion link, so how it works?
So
I mean if there is another completion on in between modify and insert data
okay. So you want to convert this as completion, no?
completion, yeah.
And then you are telling that if there is no data, if it fails, then which data it is going to update. Okay. So then zero
Okay.
records will affect. So if that particular record is not there in the table and it is trying to going to update that record, so it will execute, but none of them and 0 rows will be affected here. Let us see that. So let me remove this. So let me drop the table first. Drop the table. Okay. And let us say that while inserting the table data, let me go to this. So let me insert, instead of 3, let me insert 4 here. Okay. So I'm not inserting the 3, I'm inserting the 4. Now you can go to this table data. Now here we are updating the employee ID 3 here, not the employee ID 4. So we are updating the employee ID
Yeah.
3, which is not existing. Okay, that is what your doubt, no?
Yeah.
So now if I go and execute this, so if the record is there, it will go and update. But if the record is not there, still it will execute, but 0 records will get affected. Now you can
No.
see. So if I go and execute the 2 table, okay, and you can see 1, 2, 4 is getting inserted. So here in the update command, update task, what is the command you are writing? You are writing this update. So you are writing this command, no? I can see if the record is not there, 0 rows will get affected, but this won't throw any error.
Have any employee
Yes,
ID.
that's it. Right.
So my doubt is, can we apply that completion link for a lot of tables?
Yes,
So
where as per the requirement demands. Okay, in this case,
yeah.
compulsory success should be there. But I'm just telling what are the
Yeah.
different options available in this control flow section.
Okay.
Okay, like okay. So that is about control flow section. Now let me go for data flow section. What this data flow tab will do is, so as we explained in the demo class, if you want to load the data from multiple sources into the single destination, so all those things will be done in this data flow section. Okay, in the data flow tab, so it will define the flow of data in the packages. It will define the flow of data between the package task. Okay. So while explaining the demo, I have told you that in order to get the data from multiple sources and convert them into or load them into
Single.
single destination, okay, that is the main
Yeah.
duty of SSIS. No? All those things we can do it in this data flow section. Okay, and you can see
Okay.
here when I go to the control flow tab, my toolbox is different tools are there in the toolbox, like everything with the name task. So these are different set of tools. Okay, and if I go to the data
Yeah.
flow tab, and if I go to the data flow tab, now you can see we have different set of tools. So we have the list of
Yes.
transformations here, and we can see the list of transformations again. So there are almost 25 transformations, and we can see the list of sources, okay, like Excel source, flat file source, OLEDB source. If it is a flat file, means a CSV or texted file, or if your source is coming from a SQL table, then OLEDB source. And after that, we can see the list of destinations. So we have sources, we have destinations, and we have the list of transformations in the data flow section. Okay. Suppose if you want to load the data from Excel file, if your data is present in Excel file, okay. Now let me. So everything we will do in the data flow task. Okay. So there is a separate task. Either you can connect to this data flow tab and you can double click on it. Once you double click on it, you can see a data flow task is created in this. Okay. If I remove this, let us show one more time. I can go to the data flow tab and I can double click on it, which will open a in the control flow section, which will open a data flow task. Okay. Double click on it, it will come to here and I can select the different type of sources. Another option is you can remove this, and another option is you can drag and drop this data flow task. You can drag and drop this data flow task and you can double click on it, which will take you to the data flow section. Okay. Now if your data is present in Excel file, drag and drop the Excel source, and one more source is present in the flat file, that is any CSV or text file, then drag that source, and you want to, after combining the data, we want to push it into SQL table. Let us take some OLTP destination, and before pushing you want to combine these two source data now. Then take the transformation list. We have one union or option, so which will combine the two tables data. Okay, so get the data from Excel source and get the data from flat file source, combine the two sources data, and after combining, let us push the data into the destination. Okay, so this is what we will do in the data flow section. We can get the data from Excel and flatware. We can apply the we can combine the two source data and we can push it into SQL table destination. Now let us see some sample. Let us see some sample here. So let us show you some sample data. So in the desktop, I have one folder called, so let us say this employee master.xlsx file. So let me take some sample data. So now here you can see that, so I have one Excel file. Okay. I have some data here, so which contains employee column, name column, branch column, and salary column. Okay. So in I have multiple sheets. In that I have some employee merge source one. Okay. So let me take this simple data and let us take one more text file, that is flat file source or CSV file source. But here I have some different columns. Let me take this. So now you can see I have one more, that is employee name, branch ID, and salary. I have some other data coming with the text file. Okay, I want to get the data from these two sources. Okay, and I want to combine. Now let us go to our package. Let us select our EMP source, sorry, Excel source, and let us locate our Excel file. So creating connection means it is nothing but locating your Excel file. So what is the Excel file path? Let me browse for the location. So under the desktop we have one merge source files folder. So in that my data is present in the employee master Excel file. Let us. So it is showing the Excel version, that is 2007. Why? Because it is Excel SX. And the first row contains column names or not? Yes, the first row contains the column names like employee, name, branch ID, and salary is there. No? So I have to check this option. Now in that Excel file, we have multiple sheets. No? So we don't have one sheet, we have multiple sheets. Now you can see that my source data is coming from this EMP source too. I think it is different one. Let's see. So what what is the folder name? That is Excel source. Oh, I think I have selected the wrong one. Let me go back to here. Let me browse one more time. So it is not merge source files, it is. So let me go to the desktop. So it is the employee master XLSX. So in this file, Excel file, I have multiple sheets. Now you can see PMP merge source one is there. Now you can preview the data. Okay, we have 4, 5, branch ID and salary, some extra columns, some unwanted. I think some junk data is there in this next to 4 columns. Okay, and the column section. So if any columns contains junk data, we can remove those columns. Okay, let me remove those unwanted columns. So from this Excel file, I selected only the required columns. That's it. Okay, now my Excel source is ready, which contains some. You can go and preview the data. Okay, some records is there, and I have excluded the unwanted columns. So my Excel source is ready. Now let me locate your flat file source. So first of all, we have to locate where exactly the flat file source is coming. Go to new, and here let me browse for the Excel file. So under the same Excel source, I have some text file called emp source 2 is there. Let us select that. And does it have the column names in the first row? Yes. And you can go and preview the data. Now you can see these are the records coming from the text file. Okay, 4 columns and 4 records. So we have just located the flat file, and we have selected yes, my sheet Excel text file contains column names. And if you go and preview the data, okay, now I want to do the union all. Now let me take it one more time. So I want to do the union all like this. So if you know what is the rules of union all, so if you want to combine the two sources data by row wise, we have to make sure that both sources should contain equal number of columns. First rule is we have to see that both sources has equal number of columns or not. So it is having 4 columns. So we are removing the unwanted columns. That is, we are having 4 columns from the file, from the Excel file, and in the text file also I'm having the 4 columns. So both the sources are having equal number of columns. So first rule is satisfied. Second rule is the corresponding columns data type should match. Data type should match means if it is in the Excel file, if the first column data type is integer, in the second file also, first column data type should be integer only. Okay. Now you can see that how to see the data types is we can connect to this connector, and we have an option called metadata option is there, and you can see here this is the data types. So DTR8 means float, and DTWSTR means it is nvarchar. Okay. So all these are float data types, and this is nvarchar data type. Okay, why? Because the Excel file will contain the Unicode format of data. Okay, always the Excel will store the Unicode format of data. And let us see the next one, flat file source data types. So the number of columns are matching, but here all are coming it as string format. All are coming it as string format. Now if I do the union all, okay, now let us first let me push the data, try to push the data in one of the destination. So let us click on that, and in the same dbSI3, so the connection is already present, I am reusing it. Let me create a new table to push the data. Now let me create a new table called table underscore table underscore after union. Okay, table underscore after union. Let us give something. Okay, and you can see it is also containing 4 columns, and you can see here R8 means float, 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 and envark. Okay, now go to the mappings. These are the columns coming from your input, and this is the columns going to create in the destination. So the mappings are already created, and just click on that's it. Now, but we need to make sure that both the columns data type should match. Here it is R8 and here it is str. Okay.
Showing.
Now if I go to the union all, and here you can see this is the columns coming from the input one, and we try to when I try to map the columns coming from the input to and click on this employee, you can see I'm getting some error saying that the metadata is not matching. Here it is R8 and here it is string. That's why this error is coming. Okay, in this case, what I can do is I can convert the data types into similar format. So let me try to convert the flat file source data types from str to ttr8. So in order to do that, so we have created one connection called flat file connection manager. No? Here we can go to this flat file connection manager. So in the connection manager section, it will show the list of connections we have created. So let me go to this. And here in the advanced section, so right now you can see employee, column name is employee whose data type is string format. So I can go and convert this into, so in the Excel file it is coming it as DTR8, no? So I can go and convert this into corresponding DTR8 format. That is double precision float. Okay, like this. Understood? So I can convert
Yeah.
this in the source itself from str to R8, and the employee name here it is str, but in the Excel file it is coming it as dtwstr. We can go and convert it to, now you can see that is dtwstr is nothing but Unicode string. Okay. Go to the branch ID. Let me convert it from string to DTR8. Let me go to the salary. Let me convert into from string to DTR8. Okay, that's it. Now since we have changed the data types, it is asking for, it is giving some warning to refresh it. Now let me double click on it. And you can see that, do you want to replace the metadata of the output columns? Yes. That's it. Click on. Now you can go and see the metadata of these Excel files are DTR8, WSTR, R8 and R8. And in the flat file source also, you can see the same data types is coming. Okay. So now both the data types is matching. Now better to take a new one. So now let us go to this and let us try to combine this. Go to this and here you can see everything is matched. Okay. So since there is no data type mismatch and column names are also same, then everything is already mapped. Okay. Now let us push the data into the destination. Okay, in the destination, we have selected a table, that is table after union, and we are putting the input columns into the input column data into the destination columns data. Okay. Now let me execute it. So if you want to execute it, you can right click or you can click on, after right clicking, you can click on execute task. So what it will do is it will get the data from multiple sources and load it into single destination table. So always there is a problem with the Excel file. Okay. So what is the problem now is, that is OS conversion, means it is checking for. So we can install the SQL Server. SQL Server is available in 32-bit OS version and 64-bit OS version. That is there, no? So on Excel also we can install Excel file in two versions, that is 32-bit OS version and 64-bit OS version. But here it is now checking for whether the OS compatibility is there or not. Means if the Excel software OS and SQL software OS are both of them are compatible or not. So because of that, if it is not compatible, it will throw me an error like this. Okay. Now how to resolve this compatibility issue is, you can go to the solution level. This is only first time, only one time. Okay. You can go to the solution, right click on properties, go to the solution properties, and here in the configuration section under the debugging mode, so we have an option called run 64-bit runtime. So it is checking whether your OS of SQL software is 64-bit supported or 32-bit supported or not. Now I don't want to do this checking, just to make it as false. I don't want to do this run 64-bit OS version check. Okay, it is just checking that whether your Excel software OS is compatible with the SQL Server software OS. Okay, I don't want to do that checking. Let me make it as false. Apply and click. Okay, now let me rerun it one more time. Now you can see here, after unchecking that, after making it as false. Okay, now let me see. So it is getting the data from multiple sources. So total 5 plus 4 rows are there. 9 rows are inserted into my destination table. Okay, understood?
Yeah, yeah.
Now let us go and see in our destination. So this is the table name, no? Table after union. Let us go to this dbSci3. Okay. Let me write select star from table underscore after underscore union. Let me see. I can see we have 5 records from Excel file and 4 records from text.
Yes.
Okay, total 9 records are pushed into my destination table like this. Okay. This is what we will do in the data flow section, which will define the flow of data. The data flow section, we will define the flow of data. Okay. So right now it is getting the data from multiple sources and union it, and after that it is pushing the data into the destination.
Okay.
So can I stop now? So in tomorrow class we will continue with the remaining sessions. What actually is the purpose of it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, tell me.
So when are you planning to do the MSBA class?
MSP or SQL?
Yes. Like when are you planning to start these classes?
No, you are asking about SQL class or MSPA?
Oh, yeah, both. Are you starting both new one?
Yes, this is the new batch only. I just yesterday only I started this MSPA
Okay.
and SQL. So your time tomorrow evening 6:30.
So when you say SQL, is that SQL Server only or the DBA part also?
So it's like a mostly on 99% on SQL Server development only, developer only, not the DBA,
Okay.
not the DBA.
Okay, SQL Server. Okay.
Yeah. So if you send me that, if you send me the your mail ID, I can send you the list of topics I'm going to cover in the SQL classes.
You have my email ID. You send me an email, right?
Okay. Then I will send you this list of topics.
Uh, e- okay.
So we can go through that list of topics and we can discuss again in the first class.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure you have my email ID, right? I can.
Yes. Yeah,
You have my email ID?
yes, I have.
Okay. Just send me the list of topics that you're gonna cover in the SQL Server
Yes.
class. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So tomorrow also same time we can connect to the MSBA class. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.